Today is day 26, and we're reading from Genesis 41 and 42. Now, things get rather interesting as it pertains to the life of Joseph and God's plan and callings in the one that seems to have been abandoned, and many would have said, probably in his situation, been forgotten by God. So yesterday we read how Joseph was forgotten by the butler. 2 full years the butler forgot his promise that he would remember Joseph. And so now 13 years have passed by, and Joseph has just been, tossed back and forth with injustices and been misrepresented and lied about. And we can all understand the pain that he must have been going through. Pharaoh has a very disturbing dream. This is no ordinary dream. This is a dream from God, and God is showing mercy to the king. The magicians and the wise men are called by Pharaoh, but yet none of them are able to determine what the meaning of this dream is. The butler remembers his sin, says to Pharaoh, listen, there is a man who interpreted our dreams, and what he interpreted came to pass. So he tells him about it, and Pharaoh calls for Joseph. Joseph comes, and Pharaoh says, I hear that you can interpret dreams. And Joseph, you can see, he's a different man. He's not that arrogant, a guy that's flaunting around his own dreams. No, he says, it's not in me. That's what he says. But he says this, God will answer your dream. And so here he is, just marvels how he is just dependent upon God. And I'm sure that he's recognizing the finger of God is at work here that's directing him to divine purposes in his life. Well, God is merciful to Pharaoh, because think about it. Pharaoh is paganistic and he has no interest in the one true God, but yet God shows mercy. And he shows him favor. So he has this dream, and Joseph tells him, yes, this represents, hey, there's coming 7 years of plenty, which will be followed by 7 years of famine. And you need to get yourself ready. Get prepared for what is ahead. And he gives him counsels him on some things that he feels that he should do. Pharaoh recognizes God in Joseph. And that's interesting because he says this, in so much, God has shown you all of this. So, the fact that Pharaoh recognized, no, he may not know that it says the one true God, but he recognizes that that God that Joseph serves is showing him insights and secrets that otherwise nobody else, none of the other musicians could figure out. So he sets him up over all of Egypt. He's now 30 years of age. And sure enough, 7 years of plenty, followed by then the beginning of a famine and a war. In fact, this is a worldwide. It says all the surrounding countries were impacted by this famine, and they were all coming to Egypt to buy grain. Israel, is disturbed by this famine, so he sends his 10 children to Egypt. Joseph's brothers come and they bow down before Joseph, and they don't know who he is, but the fact that they are bowing down fulfills what Joseph had told them about 20 years earlier, because now think of it, it's been 20 years since he's seen his brothers. He's now 37 years of age. Joseph recognizes his brothers. He's speaking rather harshly to them. And we don't know exactly why he may be doing this. Is he testing them, or is he trying to cover and conceal, or is there some inner turmoil of all of this pain that was inflicted upon him by his brothers? So anyways, the brothers share everything about their life. They didn't realize that Joseph speaks Hebrew, and even though Joseph is speaking through an interpreter, he knows exactly everything that they're saying. So he tells them that they're going to need to prove their story. He throws Simeon in jail. He tells them go get Benjamin, probably because he longs to see his brother, who would be about 20 years of age now. The brothers are sure that it's payday, and said that they are saying, we are truly guilty concerning our brother. That's what they said. And then they said, God is doing this to us. So they've been carrying this themselves all of this time. And then the Bible says this, that Joseph turns away from them and weeps. You can imagine the immense pain and agony that Joseph has been dealing with all of these years, all of that inner pain that is now beginning to come out. They go back, they tell their father, he falls apart and says, all these things are against me. He's become rather pessimistic in his outlook on life, but God is orchestrating a plan and a refining process that's going to bring about changed lives, not just in Joseph and the brothers, but those that are around him, and an expansion of God's covenant promise. What an amazing account.